Have you joined the fastest growing fantasy motorsports app yet? On Grid Rival, you can join leagues with your friends and manage your own fantasy team on what race fans are calling, hands down, the best fantasy motorsport app out there. F1 and MotoGP leagues are now live for the 2021 season. Joining a league on Grid Rival will make every race more exciting, more engaging, and of course, more competitive. Download Grid Rival now on your iPhone or Android smartphone. Grid Rival is an unofficial application and not associated with Formula One, MotoGP or any of their athletes.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Road America, Elkhart Lake, Wisconsin, where tonight the National Racing Network is proud to be bringing you live coverage of the Grid Rival ESRA INDYCAR Series. Checkered flag just flying right now on the practice session. We're going to get ready to qualify here in just a moment. Eric Shouse, your quick timer at a 1 minute 43.86 second lap. Ty Richter, Matt Wagner rounding out the podium there in the practice session. Taking a look at the weather conditions tonight presented by our friends at the Weather Center. Offensively accurate weather for eastern Pennsylvania. 75-degree ambient temperature, no wind, and a 117-degree track temperature. This place is scorching hot. Grip is going to be a big-time challenge for these drivers throughout the course of the night. We've heard a lot of talk about the tires and what they could potentially be doing. As we pick up the 72 of Craig Forsyth, swapping up the colors on us from 1 week ago. Back to running the later career Paul Tracy colors on the side of that number 72. Taking a look in the comments here, Mike DeFeo checking in saying, yo, what's going on, brother? Hope you are having a good night tonight. TJ McMurray, this is going to be a disaster for me. Yeah, TJ having a bit of a rough go of things in practice. We'll see if he's going to be able to improve it all during the race. Everybody is out on the racetrack to set their qualifying laps with the exception of Gary Corley and the aforementioned Mr. TJ McMurray. Everybody on the alternates. Now, drivers I don't believe, have to start the race on the compound that they qualify on. So they'll have a choice of what they want to run, but the question is really going to become what tires are going to benefit you the most here as we see Forsyth getting down to turn one. Big run down into this corner. TJ checking in saying, absolutely not. Oh, that's awesome. Taking a look at the race results, this is the second time that the Grid Rival ESRA INDYCAR Series has appeared at Road America. The last time back June 24th of last year in Season 2 for the series. But the results are almost useless to compare. 7 of the top 10 drivers from that race will not be in the field tonight, including the entire podium of Julian Altina, Chris Wilhite, and Mario Miranda. Matt Wagner, the highest finishing driver that will be in tonight's show, he finished in 4th. Jim Brooks, who I think we're not even going to see Jim. So 8 of the top 10. The only cars that are finishing in the top 10, Matt Wagner, as we mentioned, and Jeff Destino that finished 10th. Alec Coates finishing 11th. Zach Evans 13th. Ty Richter back in 16th. Colin Johnson 17th. James Watson having an off night after getting into a couple of incidents, finishing in the 21st position. This really is going to be a completely different race from what we saw here a couple of seasons ago. Navarre Luce setting quick time right now, 1 minute 46.37, but he's going to be beaten to the top of the boards by Craig Forsyth, 1 minute 44.57. That's a very fast lap time. Jeff Destino coming in at a 146.29. Alec Coach jumps up to second. Let's see what Eric Shouse is going to be able to do. Couple of purple sectors, couple of green personal best sectors. Still has 2 to go here, coming around to complete his first flying lap. Forsyth sets the quick lap and then gets into the pit area. He will be done. Matt Wagner jumping up to second quick on the board, 1 minute 44.687. See what Shouse is going to do. Quick time, top of the board, 1 minute 44.307 seconds. And that's going to be it for Eric Shouse. Call it a day. We're done. Matt Wagner going to finish lap number 2. The drivers were talking about the red tires going off as soon as lap number 4 of the stint. Fuel strategy will really not be much of an issue. You're looking at anywhere from 10 to 12 laps on fuel. It's a 30-lap race, so it's going to be a 2-stopper no matter what way you try to slice it around. One potential strategy we've heard is a potential short stop. If you could consistently make 12 laps on the black tires, you could possibly run 11, 11, and 8, spend a little bit less time on the reds. But again, that's going to really require you to make the numbers. And we'll see that strategy play out if the second stop comes at lap number 24, I guess it would be. Anywhere from 22 to 24. Oh, my goodness. Mike DeFeo saying he's got to be up at 2 tomorrow. Screw that. Watching quality, then I'll watch the race at work tomorrow. Well, hope you enjoy the show. Wagner does not improve. 1 minute 44.687. He comes across the line. Nice of him to park the car here, though. Give us the good shot. Pick up James Watson. Lap number 1 did not score for Watson. That's a tough break there. Watson, along with everybody else turning laps here on the alternate tires. And James will be the last car to complete his qualification run. National Racing Network, ZAS Designs on the side of that number 39 machine. Also Premier Racing Setups. Watson going to make the run up the hill and see what the number is going to look like over the start-finish line for James Watson. Oh, and it's a great lap. 1 minute 44.399. I'll tell you what, for a guy that was not sounding overly confident during the practice session, that was a monster lap for James Watson. So we'll see, down to 2 minutes 15 seconds remaining here in qualifications. Barely enough time to get around the racetrack for Gary Corley and TJ McMurray, but looks like they will not make an appearance on the racetrack here in qualifying. So that'll put Eric Shouse and James Watson on the front row for tonight's Grid Rival ESRA IndyCar Series race. See if we can sneak a quick word in here with Eric Shouse. Congratulations, Eric, picking up another Grid Rival ESRA IndyCar Series pole award. What are your thoughts as we head into the race here? Seems like there's not going to be a ton of drama on fuel nor tires. I guess really this is going to be almost like a little hot lap contest, it seems like.
Yeah, I think so. I think there's a couple ways to play it. I plan on maybe running a little bit of fuel strategy just to do less on the red tires that tend to fall off pretty abruptly near the end of their life. So I'm thinking about maybe running some fuel, but it also depends on how people push behind me. So we'll find out soon. Hoping for a nice clean race, though.
Yeah, definitely going to be interesting, and I would imagine the run down to turn 1 is always a concern at this place. A lot of cars making their way up the hill, and then, a big-time run down to turn 1. How do you approach that starting from the front of the field?
Starting from the front, I'm just going to, hopefully nobody's listening, but I'm going to wait pretty late and go so people can't get a run on me, hopefully get a good jump on James and Craig behind me, and that should hopefully give me a clear run into 1. But we'll see. It's a long way up, and there's a lot of draft, so there's a possibility for them to slingshot up with me.
All right, Eric. Well, congratulations once again on picking up the Grid Rival ESRA INDYCAR Series Pole Award. And with that, we are down inside the last 15 seconds or so of qualifications. Let's grab a quick word here with James Watson, our runner-up in qualifying, starting on the outside of row number 1. I tell you what, James, you were not sounding all that confident in practice, and then it seemed like something clicked late in that session.
Yeah, I changed how I had the ARB set up, and it really made the car come alive for me, which I was a little surprised about. I thought I was going to be out to lunch, but knock on wood, I seem to have found a little something, and hopefully it could carry me through to bring home a pretty good finish in the race.
One of the things we just asked Eric the same question here. What are your thoughts as you approach turn 1 here? That is a big run and a lot of draft going to be coming into play.
I'm gonna see what's available for me. I'm not necessarily outright planning to try to make some sort of hero move on Shouse to take the lead, but if I see an opportunity, I'm gonna take it. So we'll see what happens, and before we all come out of turn 1.
All right, James, thank you very much. We appreciate you checking in with us here. Let's get you the starting grid for tonight's race. Eric Shouse lining up on the pole with a lap time of 1 minute 44.307 seconds. James Watson lining up to his outside, just 91 thousandths back. Craig Forsyth and Matt Wagner on row number 2. Alec Coates, Navarre Luce on row 3. Vic Aldrich, Ty Richter on row number 4. Jeff Destino and Zach Evans on row number 5. Row 6 will have Cullen Johnston and Jason Hand. Row number 7 will see Gary Corley and TJ McMurray. May even see Corley elect to start this race from the pit lane. Not necessarily the worst idea. That may be exactly what we're seeing as the field is starting to roll off. And we are going to get ready for a start. Short pace lap here. They're going to make the turn out of turn number 14 and start the run up the hill. As always, race fans, the start of the Grid Rival ESRA INDYCAR Series is going to be all yours. Eric Shouse getting a fantastic jump off the line. Craig Forsyth able to leapfrog ahead of James Watson. You wonder if there might not have been a little bit of coordination there. Those drivers sharing a Discord. Oh, a little bit of side-by-side. Navarre Luce getting wide to the outside. Entrance to 5. He's got Alec Coates just behind him. Turn 6 is treacherous, uphill, kind of banks away from you. Back through the right-handed turn 7. Long run down the hill under the Johnsonville-Bratwurst-Speedville Bridge and into the carousel. So many incredible corners at this racetrack. Craig Forsyth already caught back up onto the rear wing of Eric Shouse. They were quick through the kink there. Now down into the right-hand Canada corner. Top three all going to stay in line. Oh, we've got trouble on the racetrack for Matt Wagner. See what happened here. Take a look at the run down into the kink. Oh, Wagner gets loose and hard into the inside concrete barriers. Huge hit for Matt Wagner. Battle for the race lead. Heads off to turn number one. Craig Forsyth trying it to the outside. That'll open the door for James Watson to have a peek down here into two. Watson jumps back in line. Now, Wagner had the issue. However, it may not make too much of a difference here. We're not positive, so we can't call him the champ yet. However, Wagner with a 52-point lead heading into tonight's race may be just about enough to lock up a second consecutive Grid Rival ESRA INDYCAR Series championship as Watson stuffs it up the inside at turn 6. Forsyth able to fight back with a preferred line into 7. TJ McMurray, Cullen Johnston also on pit lane right now. Gary Corley looks like he will be a did not start tonight. Jason Hand also in the pits, so 5 cars having early issues here at Road America. Leaves us 9 at the front of the field. And this is the tightest battle on the racetrack right now. Seeing Wagner having another issue. Oh! Shouse goes wide. Forsyth going to duck up the inside. Man, that is such a gutsy place to try to make that pass into Canada corner. Forsyth backs out of it just a little bit. Going to try to set up the big run down the front straightaway, but it might be James Watson that gets the best run of all of them. Forsyth looks up the outside down the front straightaway. Going to be a tight battle into turn 1. Forsyth able to come around, clearly around Shouse. New race leader. Watson checks up the inside. Top 4 all separated by 1 second. This is a great battle here at the front of the field. If they're going to stay like this, it really will mean pit stop execution could be the most critical component of the race here this evening. TJ checking in. I ain't embarrassing myself more than what I'm about to do. Stephen Luce checking in. Go Navarre, Team Loose Wheels. Tell you what, Craig Forsyth looking really good here at the front of the field, but we've got a new fastest lap of the race, and it belongs to this car running in 5th. That's Vic Aldrich at a 1:48.21. Going to get a little bit of drafting help from Zach Evans, but they're going to have to do some work here if they want to get caught up to these cars at the front. Got to keep in mind what we heard out of Eric Shouse in the pre-race, that he may be trying to play a little bit of the fuel game, and it would not surprise me to see James Watson doing something similar. As Craig Forsyth sets the fastest lap of the race that last time by 1:47.024 seconds. See if we can sneak a word out of the infield care center here with Matt Wagner and Matt, tough break there coming through Canada corner and the kink in Canada corner there on lap number 1. Tell us what happened. Do you have a copy on us, Matt? Oh, there we go. Oh, you're just getting back out onto the racetrack. Here, we'll bring you back down to your room here. Yeah, didn't see Matt Wagner just getting back out onto the racetrack. Did have to take the tow using the quick repair. So right now, the only car out of the race is Gary Corley. Julian Altina, our race winner the last time we were here at Road America. Can you tell a bedtime story? Hopefully this race doesn't turn into one, but we'll see. There is going to be the strategy games that come into play here. Ciacelli checking in. This is our buddy Kylo Ciacelli. We should get to see him a little bit later on tonight in the Indy Pro 2000 race. Go get him, TWR. Greg Forsyth managing to go faster. Faster still as we work lap number 5. 1 minute 46.697 seconds. Nobody is close to that lap time right now. It's going to be interesting to see who's going to be able to make the fuel number here. James Watson has already been on the push to pass button twice. Navarre Luce, he has not used it yet. Vic Aldrich has been on the button 3 times. Cullen Johnston getting the fun in while he's got the chance. He's back on the button once again. 5 laps into this race, and he has used half of his allotment of push to pass. Currently running in the 11th position. Matt Wagner setting a fastest lap of the race. That's a heater. 1 minute 45.869, nearly a second faster than the leaders. The problem is he's a lap and a quarter down at this point. Excuse me, a lap and 3/4 down after having to take the tow into the pit area. So Craig Forsyth holding on to the race lead. The gap is 1.5 seconds. Back to Eric Shouse, who cannot shake James Watson, running in the 3rd position. Oh, seeing one car going around. That may have been TJ McMurray off the racetrack. It was. Wadding that car up at turn number 14. Watson going to be on the button down the straightaway. Not going to make him up enough to get him down inside at turn 1. But definitely close the gap pretty significantly here. Watson again thinks about having a look. He's going to check up the inside into 5. Nothing going there. Cullen Johnston has already used all of his push to pass. 6 laps into this one. That is fantastic. Oh, trouble for Jeff Destino out on the racetrack. Seeing that car going around. Get you the NRN Instant Replay on this one. Take a look and see what happened here to Jeff Destino. This is down into, believe that's turn 2. No, I'm sorry, that was out of turn 6, heading under the Johnsonville Bridge. No harm, no foul there. Destino going to stay in the 8th position. TJ checking in once again. This is so fun. I can just hear the sarcasm dripping off your voice. But I'm going to back out. Yeah, so it looks like TJ McMurray will be done for the night after completing 4 and change laps. Alec Coach trying to make a run here at Zach Evans. There's another one side by side into turn number 5. Coates will have the position up on the outside. No chance for Evans to cross back under. I'm sorry, I misread the comment. TJ saying he's going back out. I thought he said it was going to back out, but no, TJ going to put the car back on the racetrack here in the 13th position. Eric Shouse really starting to open up the gap now on James Watson. Only other battle that's even this close on the racetrack right now is Alec Coates and Zach Evans. This fight sitting down at about 0.6 of a second, right about the same gap that the Shouse versus Watson battle for position number 2 is sitting at. So we'll get back up to the front here because we will be seeing pit stops coming up here momentarily. Coming around the wounded race car of Cullen Johnston are your race leaders. So a handful of laps here. Looks like TJ McMurray may be done for the night now as he had to take the tow back into the pits once again. Watson is closed right back up here on Eric Shouse. Theoretically, if you could make a 12-lap stint on the Reds, this is where your, or excuse me, an 8-lap stint and then a couple of 12s on the Reds. This is where your pit window would open. However, everybody that's on the racetrack right now on the red alternate tires has already made a pit stop due to crash damage. So still another couple of laps. TJ saying he's destroyed. Looks like that may be the end of the night. I will not claim a commentator's curse on that one either, TJ. Seeing a super chat coming in here from our buddy Bizzle. I make you say waifu on air again. Thank you very much, Patrick. Puts another 42 cents into the pot here for the drivers of the Grid Rival ESRA IndyCar Series. Again, the National Racing Network Give Back. We are putting up 10% of all of the super chats as well as new memberships that come in. Putting that back into a pot for these guys, I believe $25 was the initial commitment here. Driver makes every race. Going to be eligible for that random drawing. Watson with a big old tank slapper there. Going to give up some ground to Eric Shouse. Race leader Craig Forsyth out to a 4.5 second lead over this battle between Shouse and Watson. A little bit further back in the pack. Good three-car duel starting to heat up This is Alec Coates, Vic Aldrich, and Zach Evans. That'll be 5th, 6th, and 7th on the racetrack. Working lap number 10 now. This is where we should see our leaders starting to come down pit road, unless they were working the fuel strategy a little bit here. Zach Evans on the push to pass down the front straightaway, takes the big draft into turn number 1. Going to go side by side with Vic Aldrich. Aldrich able to fight back. Good run for Aldrich off of corner number 1. Bizzle checking in saying, oh man, Watt's been in the top 3. Don't jinx him in the comments. I will not take that evil either there. Watson right up on the rear wing of Shouse. The big run down towards Canada corner. Watson still not able to gain up any ground here on Eric Shouse. Let's pick up race leader Craig Forsyth. He will be making the first stop of the race here for your race leaders. Hard on the binders up the hill. Little bit of a surprise here. James Watson coming in here at lap number 10. So Forsyth, Watson, Luce, Coates, Aldrich, and Evans all making their first pit stops of the race here at lap 10. Race leader Forsyth going to be in, hit the box cleanly. Car goes up on the jacks, and it will be for fresh Firestone Firehawk alternates. For Forsyth, full load of Speedway fuel. He's down and away, 8.05 seconds. Watson down and away, second set of primaries. So Watson will have to go to the alternates next time. 8.27 seconds, the time of the stop for James Watson as he makes his way out. Oh, and he got it wide at turn 1. Now the question becomes, what does Eric Shouse have here? And did he give up too much time to race leader Craig Forsyth? Forsyth is going to be on the red tires. He's going to make up a ton of time as Shouse is out here turning laps on what, quite frankly, are very old black tires. So up through turn number 14, we'll see if Shouse is going to elect to come down pit road this time, and he will. So your race leader is in the pits. Craig Forsyth, 31 seconds back. And just an agonizing run at pit lane speed limit here for Eric Shouse. Man, you wonder if the overcut was a great strategy call here, as the gap is not decreasing all that much just yet. Shouse going to run through everybody's pit box on the way into his. The Hot Wheels number 76 up on the jacks. He's going to be down and away. 8 seconds flat. Craig Forsyth comes around to reclaim the race lead. And James Watson going to be a 3 and change seconds back of Eric Shouse at this point. So really absolutely nothing going on now throughout the field. Multiple second gaps separating all of the cars. Bizzle checking in saying he wanted the bonus point for leading the lap. It could be that Shouse was looking for the bonus point. He is sitting 11th in points, 8 behind Cullen Johnston, who obviously he will gain some ground on here tonight, as well as Charles Teed, who is not in the race. But, I mean, you're still talking 9th, 10th, 11th in points here. The guy who has the most to gain is right here, Craig Forsyth. 26 points back of James Watson for second in the standings. For those of you maybe joining a little bit later, I believe Matt Wagner has now clinched the championship, entering tonight with a 54-point lead over James Watson. I believe there is an outside mathematical chance here, and Watson got the help he needed with Wagner currently running in the 11th position. The problem is Wagner's still with a little bit of ground here. Watson basically needed a couple of last place finishes out of Matt Wagner in these final 2 races of the season. Tonight at Road America. Next week, we round out the season with a visit to the Las Vegas Motor Speedway. A couple of great choices here for the final road course and final oval of the season. So Forsyth leads. Here's Eric Shouse in second, about 4.7 seconds back. James Watson running third. He is 3 and change seconds back of Shouse for second, 8 seconds back of your race leader. Got to go back another 3.5 to find Navarre Luce, who runs in the 4th position. Luce 3.5 seconds behind Watson, 11.7 back to your race leader. Rounding out the top 5 here is Alec Coates in the number 10. 17 seconds behind the race leader, 5.5 up to Navarre Luce, who runs in the 4th position. Hard charger of the race thus far is Zach Evans. He has gained 3 positions, largely through attrition. But Evans currently running in the 7th position. Pick up Eric Shouse here and making his way up under the Sargento Cheese Bridge. The hook down through turn 5. Make his way up the hill under the Corvette Bridge. Believe that's where Mimo Gidley had an absolutely hellacious accident in the old Champ Car days. Pick up Zach Evans here as we've got a battle forming up on the racetrack. Evans closing in on Vic Aldrich in the battle for 6th. The Bizzle lighting up the comments here. 40 seconds for a pit stop in F1 from time entering pit lane to leaving. Probably longer in IndyCar. How about 7 seconds longer? Almost exactly the time difference between an IndyCar pit stop and an F1 pit stop. So Craig Forsyth on the alternates. If he thinks he can make it the rest of the way, he could come in as early as, let me see, doing quick math here, lap 18 possibly, if he thinks he can go 12 laps. However, no real incentive for Forsyth to try to play the game at 12, maybe at 11, do 1 fewer lap on the alternates. Eric Shouse really would be able to do the same thing here. The big question mark is really going to be James Watson. He will have a set of alternate tires available for that final run to the checkered flag. However, he's currently 9 seconds back, so he would have to make up some ground first before he could try the late undercut. Coming up next, it will be the second half of our doubleheader, the Indy Pro 2000 Championship, taking on Summit Point Raceway. Very, very narrow racetrack. Passing is going to be at a premium. But that one is going to be a blast to watch. Incredible points battle in that series. Ted Burns leading Everett Paddock by less than 100 points, less than 50 points back to David Porcelli in third, another 20 back to John Batafer in fourth. We've got really a 4 to 5 car battle if you include Chris Preston. This one could be a ton of fun to watch tonight. It'll be elbows out racing for sure in our final broadcast of the race week. Coming up on Monday night, we'll have the Silver Crowns from Phoenix, the old 2008 configuration. Silver Crowns on a fast little flat track. That'll be a ton of fun. Tuesday night, Tear It Up Tuesday, presented by Snydersville Raceway, coming to you from the Big E Eldora Speedway for the 358s versus Big Block Modified Challenge. Wednesday night, the Sim Racers Club heading to, I believe, Auto Club Speedway, excuse me. Auto Club Speedway, the cars of the NASCAR Xfinity Series. Trouble on the racetrack for Navarre Luce. See what happened here. Looked like he got off track, coming back on track. Exit of turn 5, up the hill to 6. See what happened here mid-corner. Just a little bit too much. Got it way off to the outside of the racetrack. Rejoins back in. But Navarre Luce going to lose fourth position to Alec Coates. We'll see if Coates will be able to close in on James Watson. And Luce really having some connection issues here, so we'll see. That could be another position gain for Matt Wagner if Luce is not able to make it all the way to the end of this one. Brandon Ishkanian checking in the comments. Watson will wreck because that's his luck. Jason will make it to the care center. Coates wins the race. Interesting set of predictions there, Swami. We'll see if any of those will come to fruition here. Forsyth really opening things up on James Watson, but Eric Shouse is closing in as the alternate tires starting to go away on that number 72 with Craig Forsyth. The big gains he made at the very beginning of this race may be coming back to Eric Shouse. The difference is Shouse is going to have to run a stint on the alternate tires. Only car on the lead lap currently on that has run the alternates is race leader Craig Forsyth. Tell you what here, following along with Craig Forsyth, we'll give you a crank it up, but we'll do it on board this time. Down to just a couple of laps remaining here in this second segment of the race. Second sequence, anyway, if you will. Looking to see race leader Craig Forsyth anywhere in between basically now and lap 21. The gap down to 2.6 seconds to second place Eric Shouse, and we'll show you the gaps and intervals here. There is your total time to the race leader. The bigger story, though, is this one. Nobody is close to each other right now. Absolutely going to be a pit strategy race here for sure. Give you a look at the push-to-pass activations left. Interesting one here is that Craig Forsyth and Eric Shouse have not been on the button yet. Theoretically, you could save that. There's at least 2 decent points to activate that push-to-pass here at Road America. Could possibly get away with it up through the kink and then all the way down here to Canada Corner. Obviously, the long front straightaway is an opportunity as well. TJ McMurray checking in the comments here. Can't wait for Vegas. Yes. That racing will be significantly more bunched up, jammed up and jelly tight than what we're going to see here this week. TJ's calling his shot, saying a podium next week. Trouble on the racetrack for Ty Richter. Looks like he may have had an off-course excursion here. Let's get the replay. Looks like turn 6 may strike again. Yeah, it does. Just got it a little bit wide, a little bit too much throttle. And around he goes. So we'll go back to the live look here. Cullen Johnston having to take the tow back into the pit lane. Through the carousel, then the run down to the kink. This is not a corner, don't call it one. And the big blast now down towards Canada Corner. We expect to see Forsyth in this lap, especially being on the alternate tires. The gap sitting pretty consistent now at about 2.6 seconds. Yeah, here he comes. Race leader making his way down pit lane. Craig Forsyth is in. Oh, man, locked it up big time there as you see Eric Shouse come through to claim the race lead. James Watson also coming in this time. Watson trying to hold on to that podium position. Alec Coates making his way in, as is Navarre Luce. Likely to see Zach Evans. He's coming in. Also, Vic Aldrich, very much likely to be down the pit lane this time. Forsyth going to put the primary black sidewall tires on for Firestone Firehawks. Full tank Speedway, fuel down and away, 18.18 seconds. Now Forsyth just has to be careful to not overcook these things on the outlap. Get him up to temperature, be consistent, and he'll be able to run this all the way through to the end. James Watson, 8.68 seconds, about a half second slower than Forsyth. 8.17, the pit stop time for Alec Coates. Navarre Luce down and away, 8.75. Zach Evans getting back out onto the racetrack. Should see Vic Aldrich coming out here in just a moment as well. Ty Richter making his way down pit lane. He is the first car one lap down. currently being scored in the 9th position. So he made it to lap 21. Can he make it to 22? Yes, he will. This could be as little as an 8-lap stint on those red alternate tires here for Eric Shouse. Will be really interesting to see what the difference in lap times is here. We'll see when Forsyth comes around. He still has not yet gotten to the start-finish line, just now getting out of turn number 14. Lap time comparison. Forsyth, last lap, including the pit stop, 2 minutes 11.52, 147.12 for Eric Shouse. And basically at this point, every lap that Shouse can go, it's one fewer lap on the red tires. We think you can only go about 12 laps on a tank of fuel, and he will be coming in this time. 32 seconds was the gap. It should be a pretty solid lead here for Craig Forsyth by the time this cycle of pit stops is completed. But that's me doing back-of-the-napkin spitball math, and quite frankly, that is not one of my talents. As we see Eric Shouse get down into his box, crew is going to go to work on the number 76 Hot Wheels machine. Quickly up on the jacks, the red sidewall Firestone alternates go on. He will be down and away 8.3 seconds, giving up a 10th, 1200ths maybe, to Craig Forsyth. Forsyth coming out with a lead, but the gap is only 3.7 seconds. Shouse using his first deployment of the push to pass. Forsyth has also used one after the cycle of pit stops. James Watson coming out in third, 13.2 seconds behind the two cars at the front of the field. Seeing Matt Wagner is on pit lane this time. Down to just 7 laps to go, and at that 1 minute 46 time frame, we may be able to get more than just a race winner interview in here. Before we have to head off for the Indy Pro 2000 race, we'll see kind of where the clock lays out, because that is a very short turnaround between those two broadcasts. Shouse back on the button. Forsyth used the button up the hill as well. The gap's down to 2.8 seconds. Shouse is on the charge, and he's got those tires fully up to temperature. You look here at race leader Craig Forsyth. Eric Shouse is closing in. The gap now down inside of 2 seconds. Cue the Jaws theme. Is Shouse burning up those red tires too much? Trying to get caught up. There's a big difference between getting to somebody and passing somebody. Shouse right back on the button again. Going to use it all the way through the kink. The point for fastest lap right now going to go to Matt Wagner, 1 minute 45.869 seconds. And I don't think we're going to see either of our lead cars take down that number. Forsyth and Shouse both on the push to pass. The gap now inside of 1 second. New fastest lap of the race. As soon as I speak, Eric Shouse goes 1 minute 44.976. Show you the lap times from first to second. Obviously with a cycle of pit stops at 21, 22, 23. How about 1.8 seconds faster that last lap for Eric Shouse? It'll be 5 laps to go next time by the start-finish line. For Craig Forsyth and Eric Shouse, they have absolutely kissed James Watson goodbye. That gap now up to 19.5 seconds back to third. Oh, Matt Wagner comes right back and steals the fastest lap. Five to go here at Road America, and the action is heating up at the front. Both cars on the push to pass up the home straight. And unless they're watching the broadcast, they won't know this, but Forsyth has 2 additional activations left over Eric Shouse. Problem is they may be close enough that Shouse could just get the toe. It's only a half second right now separating first and second. Oh, here comes the move for the lead into turn 5. Shouse got down to the inside. He's within a quarter of a second now as they get up to 6. Had to back out of it. But he's going to be right there, and any activation of the push to pass is absolutely going to tow Eric Shouse right along. Through the kink, Shouse selecting not to use the push to pass down towards Canada corner. Quite frankly, better opportunity to try to get around someone is the clean exit at 14. You can try it into Canada corner. It's a passing zone, but not necessarily the friendliest of passing zones. Both drivers back on the push to pass up the hill. Big dive up the inside into 5. Oh, and Shouse slides wide. Forsythe comes back through. Eric Shouse gets off the racetrack. And that might be all she wrote. Shouse is going to have a couple of laps of decent left on those red tires, but heavy on the braking like that. Not going to be ideal, and he's only got one activation of the push to pass remaining compared to the 5 that Craig Forsythe has. Quite frankly, if I'm Forsythe, I'm on the button right here. Open that gap up as much as you possibly can. Three laps to go here for race leader Eric Shouse. And let me correct myself. Oh, Forsythe had a problem. Craig Forsythe may have just been disconnected. He is dropping like a rock through the field. And we are not seeing that car on the racetrack. Promotes James Watson to second. Alec Coates up to third. And yeah, it looks like Craig Forsythe is done. Heartbreaker there for Forsythe. Go back to the pass for the lead here. Show you the replay on this one. See what happened. Yeah, Forsythe just flat disappeared at turn 14. And that's all there was. Game over, heartbreak for Craig Forsythe. Yeah, seeing the comment come in from TJ McMurray. Craig Sim disconnected due to incoming packet loss. Oh, that's heartbreaking. Absolutely perfect drive tonight by Craig Forsythe. Goes up in smoke. And quite frankly, the easiest way to make the equivalency here is to a driver that has an issue, a mechanical issue in the real world. You blow an engine, a part failure somewhere. That kind of stuff happens as well. I mean, we saw it nearly took James Hinchcliffe's life at Indianapolis. A part fails and that's it. And now down to 2 laps to go. Eric Shouse going to be your race leader. And I'll tell you what here, looking like Craig Forsythe just getting back out on the racetrack right now. But he's going to be just about a lap down to the race leader. So a very quick reconnection here. But Craig Forsythe looks like he will finish in the 6th position. Seeing Dragon Inc. checking in on Twitch, saying that's a heartbreaker. Oh, man. That just sucks. A lot of time went into this race for these drivers tonight. In fact, because of some issues earlier in the week, a 2-hour practice session leading into this race. These drivers logged a ton of laps already. Coming down to 1 lap to go, Eric Shouse will see the white flag and be completely untouched the rest of the way without a mistake. James Watson currently being scored 25 seconds behind your race leader. Alec Coates, third, 4.5 seconds back behind Watson. Zach Evans and Vic Aldrich look like they will round out your top 5 here tonight. Cleanly through turn 5 for the final time is Eric Shouse. He has had an absolutely incredible season here thus far. We will do our best to get an interview with him, and then we will have to get off the air and get ready for the Indy Pro 2000 Championship Series race. Shouse has 6 starts. This is start number 7. In those 6 starts, 2 wins, 5 top 5 finishes. He will easily leapfrog Cullen Johnston, Jeff Destino, and Charles Teed, getting all the way up behind Ty Richter in the 7th position in points. Through the final corner, up the hill, Eric Shouse claims the win at Road America. Let's see if we're going to have to get a quick word in here with our race winner tonight. Eric, Chris Graham in the NRN booth, congratulations, bud. That was a spectacular win tonight. Maybe not the way you wanted to get it with the issues that Craig had, but man, that all in all impressive performance.
Yeah, thank you. I'm happy for the win, but that really sucks for Craig. I think he had that win in the bag. It was just unfortunate that his internet went out on him. But I'm happy to take the win in his stead, I guess.
Yeah, you're going to move yourself up. Looks like it potentially as high as 8th in points here tonight. So I know you're not running for points, only running the partial season, but all in all, I mean, it was a great run. The car was quick all night long. What do you think as we get ready to head off to Vegas to close out the season?
Yeah, well, I wish all those guys. I don't know if I'll run Vegas or not. I've only been running the road courses so far. So, if I don't run it, good luck to all those guys. Not sure who's running for first and second in the championship, but hopefully those guys have a good battle. Hopefully it turns out well and have a good race.
Yeah, it was an impressive season you had here. 7 starts, 3 wins, 6 top 5 finishes. All in all, a really impressive season here. Congratulations on that. Let's make sure we get all your sponsor plugs and thank yous in before we let you go as well.
Yeah, thank you. Well, thanks to ESRA for putting on this league. It's been a lot of fun. I really enjoy leagues that run a lot more road courses like this. It's nice to have something to run every other week or so. Thanks to you for the broadcast. It's always excellent, and I enjoy going back and watching it. And then thanks to anybody out there watching the broadcast. It's always fun to have spectators. So thank you.
All right, Eric, thank you very much here. Got to get this one comment on the air here before we go. TJ McMurray, Craig gets disconnected, gets connected back, comes back in, and is 6th on the lead lap. I can't even make 5 laps. Yeah, TJ, you're winning here, bud. We'll get you the race results up on the screen. Eric Shouse getting a win over James Watson and Alec Coates. Zach Evans, Vic Aldrich round out the top 5. Craig Forsyth, Ty Richter, Jeff Destino, Matt Wagner, Cullen Johnston, your top 10. Navarre Luce, Jason Hand, TJ McMurray, and Gary Corley will complete your field. With that, we got to get out of here. It's time for the Indy Pro 2000 Championship Series. We'll see you in just a couple of minutes. Don't go anywhere. You're watching the National Racing Network.